Hi, everybody. Welcome to WCA Extra. Sophia Thomas joins us this morning, kind of talk about just some of the really just dry fall that we had this year. A lot of burn bans all throughout the fall, and I feel like we finally have some relief now, just in the form of snow. But I know you talked to a few, firefighters for this story this morning. How does this fall stack up to years prior, and more so, I guess, the fire risk in general?
Sure.
Yeah.
So we know that typically fires tend to fall in the spring, and that might seem kind of counterintuitive, but with melting snow and the warming temps, you get drier conditions.
Yeah.
So that's typically when we tend to see fires. This fall was an anomaly, where we saw actually, a record number of fires in a long time. In the fall, we're hitting state records for the amount of fire damage we've seen in years.
Yeah, and do you have the numbers for that too? 'Cause I know, we had a ton of burn bans earlier on, and it seemed like we had brush fire after brush fire.
Yep.
Kind of spotty all throughout, and really just a collection of weeks there.
Absolutely. It feels like we were reporting on a burn ban like every week.
Exactly.
So we had 82 wildfires this year.
Yeah.
And that damaged 159 acres of Vermont land. And, as I talked about in this story, over 50% of that damage happened just in October and November.
Yeah.
So you think about fires typically falling in the spring, and then we see, a large brunt of this damage happening right in the fall, and just really within a matter of, I think, 4 weeks.
Yeah, no, it's much for me too, because wildfires out west, Midwest, etc. It's always like the summer. That's the driest part of the year when things, they have a big lag of precipitation and all that. And now here, as we're in the fall, again, you have dry leaves. It just hasn't rained, snow, etc. Kind of the same thing.
Exactly.
And I guess my last point here is, you talk to some those firefighters, and you got some input from the state. What are some of those preventative measures, really, if any, moving forward now to see that this keeps happening?
Yeah, so I think it's kind of twofold. There's a lot to do, but two of the major points they pointed out. One, educating the public. If people aren't used to seeing a lot of fires in the fall, they might think that they can be a little bit more loose when they go camping, or when just they're out and about. So making sure that people are aware of the risk, and then also the state's looking to invest in this wildland fire engine. So this is like this rogue truck that can go out there, and all about them, but it can handle mountainous terrain, whereas typical fire engines might not be able to.
Yeah, a lot of times they have like the crossbar, and it's like
they look pretty
just
cool.
drive right in the woods. So but it's good. It's just to get a gauge, especially after this year, and what that looked like for people out there fighting them. So we'll take a look at that in just a sec here. But thanks for hopping on.
You bet. On the morning of October 27th, Barnard Fire Warden Scott Mills awoke to smoke.
The morning of the fire, I went up Route 12, and that whole ridge was on fire. And I said, oh my.
It's the kind of fire you spend your career preparing for. Around 70 acres of remote land on Morgan Hill Road on fire from improper wood stove ash disposal. It took several local and state departments 2 weeks to put out.
I've been on the department 47 years. We might have had 10 to 20 acres, but nothing of this magnitude for sure.
A fire like that is rare during a Vermont fall. State experts say the spring, with melting snow and warming temperatures, typically triggers the most fires.
We were always, on pins and needles in the spring, and we're alert, of course, in the fall, but we weren't expecting to have this, rash of wildland fire.
So far this year, 82 wildfires, all human-caused, burned 159 acres. It's the most fire damage since 2016, and over half of it happened in October and November alone. Experts say little rain, dry foliage, and wind were a recipe for disaster.
It was very far from typical, but I think it's sort of the new normal, right?
Preparing for more falls like this, the state is working to secure several $100,000 to buy a wildland fire engine. It's a rogue pickup truck, able to navigate rural and mountainous terrain better than standard fire trucks. Mills is happy to see state funds going to fire prevention and response.
But I think this has opened more people's eyes for where the funding might need to go.
Of course, Peter now that we're deep into December here, deep as in December 3rd, that risk of wildfire very, very thankfully gone down.
Lower.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we've gotten rain,
Yeah.
and a lot of us have now gotten snow.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, probably a little bit more snow
Yeah.
on the way here.
Yeah.
Not so much really today. There is a few snow showers out there. You see that here on satellite radar. And these are just going to be kind of a few hit or miss snow showers here and there through the course of the day today. These really not going to amount to all that much. But yeah, nonetheless, still feeling kind of wintry out there. Most of us starting off the day. We have temperatures in the mid to upper 20s and lower 30s out there. Really not going to move all that much here through the rest of the day today. Maybe most of us rebound another degree or two as we head into the rest of the afternoon, but that's going to be about it. So here's how the rest of the day shapes up. Again, just kind of dodging a few of these light snow showers here and there through the course of the day ahead. Really, these don't amount to all that much. For most of us, it's going to be additional trace up to an inch. The western slopes of the Green Mountains, as you head up in elevation, they could possibly pick up an additional 1 to 3, but that's about it here through the course of the day today. Then as we head towards tomorrow, that's when we'll start to see a little bit more snow head our way. I think as we head towards tomorrow morning, we could actually start off the day a few breaks of sunshine out there, especially the further east you look. Notice how those clouds, though, quickly fill in here as we head towards tomorrow afternoon. That starts to give way to more and more snow shower activity as we head towards tomorrow evening. This a part of an Alberta Clipper that's going to begin to work its way through the area. That Alberta Clipper stays with us as we head into the Thursday as well as Thursday evening before it begins to wrap up as we head towards your day on Friday. Now, this does look like it should provide at least a little bit of accumulation for most of us. Generally going to be talking a widespread 3 to 6 inches. I think there is lesser totals in that Connecticut River Valley. You can see the lighter shade of blue there. I think they probably talk about an additional 2 to 4. Meanwhile, the Champlain Valley, you got that big old gap in the action once again. They'll generally talk about a trace upwards of 3 inches by the time Friday morning rolls around. And then following that snow comes the cold, actually. Take a look at what we're going to wake up to come Friday morning. Wind chills, single digits, basically on either side of that 0 degree mark. And you head towards Friday afternoon, we really don't see all that much improvement. Most of us will talk wind chills Friday afternoon, still in the single digits and teens out there. So following the snow comes a little bit of cold. First, though, your forecast here through the rest of the day today. We'll talk daytime highs, mid to upper 20s, lower 30s out there with those few snow flurries overhead. Into the night ahead, I think we break apart that cloud cover a little bit. That also should mean that we're a bit cooler here into the night. We have overnight lows in the teens and 20s, still a chance at a few flurries here and there. Into your day tomorrow, the bulk of the snow should begin to make its arrival here as we head towards later tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Temperatures here for the day will climb back into the low and mid 30s here for most of us into your day on Wednesday. Now look at that 7-day forecast. Again, that Clipper system begins to make its arrival later tomorrow evening, lasting into the day on Thursday before it begins to wrap up here as we head towards the day Friday. Friday, as I mentioned, definitely looking to be a chillier day. Wind chills in the single digits and teens. Then as we head into the upcoming weekend, we do look drier, a bit warmer. Also a chance at a few rain and snow showers here as we head towards the start of next week.
Yeah, Peter, a lot of snowflake icons in that 7 day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to really amount to much today,
Yeah.
as we mentioned. It's really that kind of Alberta Clipper that we have for tomorrow evening, Thursday, and then kind of the early morning hours on Friday.
All right, be straight with me. What is a clipper? What is that?
I mean, so,
Keep hearing that.
well, okay, so
I like to think I know what I'm talking about, but I don't.
Alberto tells
Yeah.
us where it's coming from.
Yeah.
The
Yes,
clipper
yes.
just means it's kind of clipping our region, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Just clipping.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. I've learned something new today. Peter, thanks so much for
Yep.
shedding some light on that. And of course, you can see Peter and I, WCX, Channel 3 News at
At
noon. You can see all of our content at WCAX.com and all of our evening shows.
Yep.
Right. Stay warm and watch out for this clipper.